This time I have a Sony SLVR1000, another one. And this one does not rewind, and it eats the tape. That's the complaint anyway. I'm sure the two of them are related. And is it the mode switch? Well, apparently that's already been cleaned. So I think we got another problem with this one. Let's take a look and see what the problem might be. Now I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, hey, I just saw this SLVR1000. You just put your power supply in it. No, I didn't. This is another one that's in for service. In fact, the same fellow that brought me this one brought me the one I worked on last week, which had the plastic gear that was cracked. He has little notes on here. It says this one here, not always tape goes into cassette. Rewind does not work. That is the complaint on this one. So we're going to work on this one today. First things first, let's give it a visual inspection. This has got to go. This is all deteriorated, I think. Yep, that's deteriorated. That's got to go for starters. Let's power the unit up. Now I'm told it eats tapes. Okay, what happens when I press stop? You said it doesn't rewind. And it doesn't. Ah! Alright. That's what it's doing. It doesn't rewind, and it doesn't wind the tape back in. So, my tape gets crunched. So we have a mechanical problem on this one. It could be the sticking pendulum. I wonder if the pendulum gear is stuck. I think that's probably what it is the pendulum gear is sticking. So this one, we can do the surgery on this one without getting too deep. We'll pull the front loader out. At least we know the front loader hasn't fallen apart on this one. But we'll remove the front loader and we'll get it into the gearbox. Okay, our problem's going to be in here, for sure. When the capstan motor turns, it turns a tooth belt which turns this gear here. And there's this little pendulum gear here, the pendulum arm that swings back and forth. And it swings one way to transfer power to the supply side, and it swings the other way to transfer power to the take-up side. And what happens is this gear, well, the grease gets dry and it sticks. And it's super easy to service these. All you gotta do is just remove these little plastic clips carefully so you don't break them, because they are nylon and they will break. Remove that clip, complete with the spring here. And we're gonna remove this pendulum gear by removing the cut washer off the top, just like that. Put it where we will be sure to lose it. And remove the stuck pendulum. And where it's stuck is stuck right here. The grease has dried up on here where it goes on the metal shaft, and it's therefore not flipping back and forth. There's too much resistance. So we're going to clean this up. This is a real quick and dirty repair on this. This is probably one of the easiest repairs you're ever going to do on one of these machines, is this. We got to clean this up and re-lube that post. Now, I was told by the fellow that owns this one that the blue gear was done, And I can certainly see that the straps over here, which are normally stuck down to the top of these plugs to hold them in place, have been removed. So I have to believe that the gear probably has been replaced. That looks like it's been lubricated too. But this certainly wasn't. And there's where our fault is on this one. So I'm just going to take a bit of my cotton bud, which has got alcohol on it. Just rip a bit off the end there so that I can stuff it down using a screwdriver to push it through. And this will get all the dried old grease or lubricant out. Okay, that will fix that problem. Now remember, we've all heard that too much grease is not enough, or worse than not enough. So I'm just going to put some grease here. I'll do these other gears as well. Just put a little bit on here. It will work its way in. So just inspecting this one to see if there's any cracks. There's not. Okay. There's no cracks on this one. Pendulum gear back on there and put the cut washer back on. Okay, now when the drive gear turns, the pendulum gear will move. It won't go to the right because there's a lever that stops it. It gets removed, or the lever gets moved when it's into play mode, but in rewind it slips over like that. And that goes down to, I believe, drive it into reduced torque mode. Okay, put the top piece back on. Just like that. Now it won't eat the tape on eject. I'm going to throw some lubricant down onto here and probably do this one as well. This tower has never been done, so we'll do the tower gear and the capstan, because it looks like it's, if it has been done, it's been done a while ago. It's still got the black grease. So hold the pinch roller in place while you're doing this. This is to prevent the tower gear from moving, so you don't lose the timing. Lift up the support. Make sure that nothing moved, and remove the pinch roller. And that's actually been cleaned out, that one. We'll put some grease on here, just a little bit of grease on the tower, on the top of the tower gear, that can be worked in when the pinch roller goes down. We'll throw a bit on these metal and plastic parts in here, a little more over here. And that should do it, I think, for this one. I'll throw it back together and verify that everything works. So I want to make sure that everything works. So there's playback. It might help if I turn on the TV to see if it's actually displaying a picture.
What should you do?
So that's it's playing back. It's working fine. Rewind. Fast forward. Play. Eject. No more eating tape. So this one's fixed. I'll put my tape in. We'll wind it through and I'll test the high-speed rewind on here. This one's got a high-speed rewind feature, but it won't work on these little crappy short tapes. It should be far enough ahead that the high-speed rewind will work. So when I press the high-speed rewind key here, we should see the tape unlace and rewind, and then when it gets close to the beginning, it should lace up again. So I hit the high-speed rewind. It rewinds, which doesn't seem like it's any faster than the regular rewind, but it does it unlaced, which is nice because it takes wear off the tape and it takes wear off the heads a little bit. I mean, if you look at Betamax, which never unlaced the tape from day one, the VHS guys had to kind of follow suit because that was always a drawback that they had. Every time you switched modes, it unloaded the tape. The VHS guys added the rewind with the tape laced, and I think it was Sony was one of the first companies when they brought their VHS out to actually do it, but then everybody else followed suit. But that's the main reason why we saw the modern VHS actually pull the tape out over to here, and they moved the location of the capstan motor in the pinch roller further back into the mechanism. If you look at early machines, they actually used the cutaway. There's a cutaway on a VHS cassette. That is where the actual capstan shaft went, and the pinch roller was right in behind it. And the tape was pulled out. If we go and look at some very old machines, you'll find that the actual capstan shaft is back here and the tape gets pulled out. And they can't do high-speed rewind and high-speed fast forward like that because the angle is too great. What ends up happening is the tension is so high on the tape because the capstan shaft is actually right here, right where this guide is in its unloaded position. That guide actually goes right there. It goes right in there where the capstan shaft would have been on a conventional VCR, conventional VHS, one of the early VHS. That's where it extracts the tape for the half load or the full load. Some of the machines used, like JVC, used to pull it halfway out, but unlace the tape. They pulled the tape halfway out so that it could be read by the control track, so they could do real-time counter on rewind. But the reason that this was done, the reason that the audio head, which used to be more over here, and the capstan shaft was there, and the pinch roller just engaged from this side, we had to go to this more complex mechanism, moving the capstan to the front side of the tape instead of the back, and the pinch roller to the back side of the tape, and then have this elevator to lift the pinch roller out of the way, so the tape could be pulled in behind, and then the pinch roller dropped down. That was done to change the angle that the tape is wrapped around the drum, to cut down the number of twists and turns that the tape makes, just to make high-speed fast forward and rewind a reality. Something that they never had to deal with on beta because the angle was less on beta than VHS. So they could shuttle the tape without having tape problems. That wasn't until Sony came out with the 711 chassis The one that's shown, well, I have both showing on my opening logo. The 710 beta chassis did that, and then the 711 beta chassis went the other way with the retractable guide pins. That one actually has quite a sharp tape angle. It does a 180-degree turn as the tape is pulled out and it goes all the way around. It comes around like this, and then it goes right back onto the head drum. That one was the exception. But they still managed to pull off high-speed rewind and fast forward without unlacing the tape. But for VHS, they felt the angle was too great and they had to redesign the mechanism to do it this way. Anyway, this one's done. I'm just going to clean the heads now and get it out of here. But the heads were quite dirty. Lower groove of the drum. Alright, this one's done. I'll just do one more test before sending it on its way, but thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.